Hi, my name is Matthew Bellisario. Thanks for coming by the BellisarioSonic YouTube channel from the heart of the Deep South on the outskirts of Birmingham, Alabama, where we talk about music, records, do record reviews, interviews, and much more. If you're into jazz records, definitely going to want to subscribe. I do a lot of those reviews here on this channel, especially modern releases. Today, however, still catching up on a lot of the reissues and different things that I had coming in from over the holiday season. But, one of the things that I really get into is a lot of that Japanese jazz or that Barely Breaking Even BBE music label. I really like that record label, and I picked up a couple of their releases here recently. Takeo Moriyama is a wonderful Japanese drummer. If you guys remember, I did a review of one of his live albums back maybe 3 or 4 months ago, and it's a fantastic, intense record. This one here is no exception, live at the Café Oto that just came in. Been dying to listen to this and had opened it up the other night and was going to do a review on it and got sidetracked. So here I am doing this today. Nice gatefold 2 LP set here. If you like that intense type of avant-garde free jazz, I think you're really going to dig this. This is a 2024 release, recorded live at the Café Oto in London, East London, and you've got here 2 famous Japanese jazz players, the pianist Masahiko Satoh and drummer Takeo Moriyama. They team up with some guys from London, Idris Rahman, who's on saxophone, and Leon Brichard, who is on bass. This was recorded right before the pandemic, September 8th, 2019, and this is an intense album. I discovered this, I think, on Amazon and started listening to the streaming, and I really dug it. I've been listening to it in my car here and there. A lot of dynamics, a lot of really cool playing, very intense. If you like that kind of on-the-spot, some on-the-spot composition or loose compositions and a lot of intense improvisation, I think you're really going to dig this. So let's go ahead and take out the first record. We're going to drop it on the Fluence RT85 with the Ortofon Blue. These do come with regular paper sleeves, so I'll be dropping these in my anti-static inner sleeves. So I'm going to set this to the side. We're going to spray this off and drop it on the Fluence with the RT85 with the Ortofon Blue, going into my Shitmani preamp, into my Yamaha HS8 speakers or monitors, and we're going to have a listen and see how this sounds. I love live records. Listening to it streaming, it sounds like it's a pretty decent recording. Of course, done fairly recently, so most of these recent live recordings sound pretty good in comparison to a lot of the older live recordings. And all right, so here we have long tunes on this, a lot of stretching out here. If you like that kind of thing, I think you're going to dig this album. So let's drop it on here and let's have a listen. Barely Breaking Even is the label. I really like that label, and a lot of interesting Japanese musicians on that label. A lot of intense drums, piano playing, saxophone player on here is really good. Leon Brichard on bass. Again, one needs to sit back and just let the music take you away. called Evening Snow. It takes up the whole first side. So far, pretty nice sounding live recording. Still trying to wrap my ears around it. Drums favor the right side. Piano's more down the middle, maybe favors the right a little bit. Intense playing. And there's a lot of dynamics, a lot of build up, a lot of different things going on here. So it's one of these records you have to really spend time with. And I've listened to this in my car several times now driving, and it's definitely very intense and one of those things I like to put on when I'm just in a certain mood. Nice. Drums sound really nice. So pretty good depth to this. definitely has a live sound to it, so don't expect it to sound like a studio recording. It does have a bit of an airy kind of sound. This kind of music's kind of taken the place of kind of heavy rock, heavy metal for me, if that makes any sense, where it's like this real intense kind of chaotic thing where if you're in a certain mood, it's just like, yeah, just, you know, to me it just kind of replaces that kind of feeling for jazz, if you will. Where a lot of times, if I'm feeling a certain way, a lot of times jazz doesn't resonate with me if I'm in a certain mood, you know. And if I get in, listen to something like this, it's kind of very intense and kind of off, you know, different, intense, heavy. It kind of takes the place of that kind of music for me in a more engaging way a lot of times. So this is still the same tune. It's called Evening Snow. A lot of different dynamics. So you had that whole chaotic kind of thing there. That's like half the tune or so. Now it goes into this kind of spacey kind of weird stuff. And these two guys, Masahiko Satoh and Takeo Moriyama, they started out in the late 60s with this avant-garde free jazz kind of thing going on in Japan at the time. And they've teamed up here, in this case, to play with these three younger guys out of London. So there they are in the back. Again, recorded September 8th, 2019 on a Sunday at the Café Oto out of East London. You got some pictures. This was mixed by the pianist on this record, Masahiko Satoh. He mixes this. It's mastered by a guy named Taishi Teruka. Mastering and lacquer cut by Frank Merritt at the Carvery. Here you can hear a little bit more of the open space here with these lower volume levels. These guys are fantastic players. And again, coming up, I'll be doing this Takeo Moriyama review of this album here called Smile. This one will be coming up for you guys next, so stay tuned for this. And I've kind of been on this Japan kick of Japanese musicians, and I just got several off of eBay of Toshiko Akiyoshi, who was one of the most famous, she was one of the most famous piano players out of Japan, but really not as well known here in the US. Especially nowadays, you don't hear much about her, but I'd not heard about her until I interviewed Mamiko Watanabe. If you guys remember, I reviewed her record and had her on the channel, and she told me about her because she was one of her mentors. Mamiko learned from her. And so I just got around to picking some of these up off of eBay. This is a fantastic record. This one's really cool. Haven't listened to this one yet. This one just came in. And she played with Lou Tabakin for quite a while. We had several releases with him. Here's another one. And here's another one. So I'm really getting into her. I really like her playing. Again, kind of something different, kind of out there. And I might just do a video just on her records. So the first record, the first two tracks, this first side is just Masahiko and Takeo playing together, just a duo. Flip it over, the first track on side B is just those two playing together. The next track you've got, the next track is all four of them, and then all of record 2, both side C and D, contains all four of them. So what I'm going to do is let this finish out. I'm going to take this record off and I'm going to put on the second record so we can get a sample of what all four musicians sound like together. So I'll play, maybe I'll play all of side D, since that will get us 2 tracks instead of just 1 track off of side C, because these are long tunes. If you look at how long they are, so they're long tunes. This one's over 19 minutes, almost 8 minutes for both tracks on side B. All of side C is an 11.5 minute track, and side D you've got 9 minutes and 5 minutes, 5.5 minutes. So these are all long, extended jams, a lot of things going on, a lot of improvisation. So I definitely want to play some of the tracks with all four of them on there versus just the duo like you're hearing now, which is, to me, incredible. Just the two guys playing together. Drums have a nice resonance to them. The piano sounds really nice. It's a pretty decent live recording. So far the pressing is it's a flat pressing. I've had a tiny bit of surface noise here and there, nothing terrible. Appreciate you guys hanging out. Leave your comments if you like any of these BBE releases. I'd like to hear your thoughts on that. I think it's a really cool record label. They put out a lot of different types of things, not just jazz. They put out this kind of funk stuff and soul music, all kinds of different things. But I do like their jazz releases, and I like these different Japanese artists that they put out. sounds nice. So again, it sounds pretty good. It might lack a little bit on the top end. You're not getting a lot of the highs that are, you hear on maybe a studio recording. But again, it doesn't sound bad. Wonderful playing. So what I'm going to do is bring this down. I'm going to put this in an anti-static sleeve, and then we're going to put on record 2, which has all 4 of them playing a different feel, since you've got, four players. All right, let's put on side D. We've got 2 tracks on this side we can listen to. Again, I try to keep these videos around 30 minutes or so. When you get a 2-record set, it's a little harder to do that. So here we're going to hear the bass and the sax added. Idris Rahman on saxophone, Leon Brichard on bass. Different type of thing going on here now with all 4 guys. This one's called Other Worlds. And again, this is just some intense playing. A lot of cool improvisation. I'm digging it. Something different when I get in one of these moods where I just want to hear some spontaneous, intense playing. And again, a lot of this was composed on the spot or very loose structure with a lot of improvisation. So if you're into that kind of thing, I think you'll dig this. Something cool to add to your collection. So it says they had a brief rehearsal. The afternoon before this evening show was the first time these guys played together. So they got together, had a brief rehearsal, then that night they went and played this. the phrasing and everything is just kind of very mystical sounding. And yet, even though it's kind of far out, I find it a little bit more digestible than like the Cecil Taylor thing. That to me is just kind of gets so far out I can't get my ears around it. This I can, even though it's, you know, a lot of free improvisation. There's something there to grab onto. Saxophone sounds really haunting over that with that piano. So what I'm gonna do is let this song play, and then I'll listen to the next. We'll listen to the next one called Chiasma, which is gonna be 5.5 minutes, and we'll close out on that tune, so you guys kind of get an idea of some of the other tunes on this. But a wonderful 2-record set, very intense, very haunting at times, mesmerizing, improvisation, live recording. It sounds pretty good. You know, I don't think the recording itself or the sound quality is going to completely blow you away, but the playing is awesome. And of course, again, it's a live recording, so it does sound like a live recording. But if you're into this kind of music, very intense, something that takes you on a journey that's different, wonderful players. intense playing there. This is something you just gotta let it hit you, take it in. And again, this is something that just, when I'm in a certain mood, this really hits, you know, hits me right. So. Definitely has that sound like you're sitting in the audience, you know, with the stage kind of up. Has that kind of a perspective to it. All right, folks, I appreciate you guys joining me. Leave your comments. Another cool release by BBE Records. And we got this one coming up, so stay tuned. Happy listening to all you guys out there, and thanks for joining me. We'll see you soon. Cool record.